So in today's video, I'm going to discuss about how to find referees for your paper or thesis. Now, many times journals want you to submit a list of referees on their web page who can help in reviewing your paper. And also there are many institutions in the world which have a peer review system for a PhD thesis or a master's thesis. And in this case, you need to give the name of 3 to 5 referees who are not in your own institution, and these people are typically sent the thesis and they review this work and give their judgment on the thesis. So basically in both these situations, whether you are looking for referees for a journal or for referees for a thesis, the main point is that you should have done a very thorough literature survey. So if you have done a good literature survey, then you have drilled down from a broad problem to the very narrow problem in your field. So let's say you are doing work on a field such as smart structures. Now smart structures are essentially created by putting smart material on a typical structure such as metal or composite or concrete. So smart materials are materials such as piezo ceramics, shape memory materials, magnetorheological fluids, and so on. And what we try to do is combine these materials with a certain structure, and then we try to control the behavior of the structure in a manner which is beneficial to us. So smart structures are a useful theme for many kind of engineering problems. So now suppose your broad problem is in smart structure and you have drilled down a lot, and in conjunction with your PhD supervisor, you have zoomed onto a very narrow problem. So maybe you have figured out that you want to use piezos for smart structure control, and then basically you take these piezos and you put them on a structure, and then you want to see how the control function of the structure changes. So let's look at this piezo structure problem. So basically what will happen is, as you go down into the literature survey, you will finally come across a problem. So let's say you have found out that there is not much work on fatigue damage of piezo based smart structures for composite materials. So that is basically then the title of your publication or your PhD thesis, and you want to do research on this very narrow sub problem. Now if you write a paper or a thesis on this problem, you need to submit it to a person who can figure out some of these aspects which you have done in the research. So the person should know about piezo ceramics, the person should know something about structure. So you are dealing with composite structures here, so they are kind of polymeric type of materials, so they need to know about this particular structure and some of the mechanics behind it. And then they also need to know about fatigue, because this is a particular part of the smart structure problem that you are looking into. Now it's going to be a very small set of researchers who are actually experts in this field. So it may be 10 to 50 people maybe there in the world who are experts in this field. And so you need to find these people or a small subset of these people and then give their names as prospective referees. So basically we come to this point that number one is that your literature survey has to be very thorough, and you need to drill down deeply, because you cannot just submit your paper for review to somebody who is an expert in smart structures, because it's a very general field. And nowadays people have a passing knowledge at a broad level for the field, but at a detailed level there are only very few people who have expertise to read a paper and comment on its strengths and weaknesses and so on. So now let us look at some aspects you need to look at when you try to find the list of referees. So you have drilled down into a certain problem and you have got a small subset. Let us say your subset is some 20 people. And now some of the things you must look at are, number one is you need to look at geographical diversity. So you need to give people from different countries, or if you are in a very large country, at least from different states. The second thing is the different people should be from different universities or institutions. So you should not give more than one person from a specific institution. Certainly you should not give people from your own institution. So it may be the case that the top expert in the field works in your own institution, but I feel that it's not a good idea to give a person from your own institution, because a conflict of interest type of scenario can take place. The third thing is the person should have a PhD in the general field which you are dealing with. So in this case, it's a field of structures or structural materials or smart structures. So the person's PhD should be in the broad general field in which you are working on. Now, this is not necessarily a completely rigid requirement, but I think it's a conservative practice to go with this requirement so that you don't have a review which is totally out of scope and where it seems that the person has not figured out what you have done. Now, there is one more thing to look at is should you go for senior referees or for more junior researchers. So again, in this case, both has its pros and cons. So I think if you go with the senior researcher, what happens is senior researchers tend to mellow down with time and they may actually be more benign to you in terms of their comments. So instead of rejecting a paper completely, they may give you a revision with a lot of comments, and you need to make these comments to get your paper into the journal. So basically, many times senior researchers want to help the students and younger scientists grow in their field. So rather than give a harsh reject to them, they sometimes may give a harsh review. Now again, the advantage of junior researchers is they are at the top of the field in many subjects, and they also have more free time at their disposal, as they may not be burdened with so much administrative duties and so on. Now, one more thing is that the top people in the field are often very busy. So for example, if you are sending your paper or thesis to some Nobel Prize winner, it's very likely that this person is extremely busy with a host of proposal writing and project management and so on. So they may not have time to review a paper or a thesis. So keep that in mind. So again, I would use the same strategy which I have mentioned before when applying to universities or so on, is have a broad set of people, have one or two people who are very exceptional in the field, a couple of people who are middle level researchers, and maybe one or two people who are normal level researchers. So this will ensure you have a good and pragmatic set which can be used for your referees. Now, one important thing to keep in mind is you should never give your friends, relatives, or colleagues of the last few years as your referees. So if a colleague has been in a different area, different institution or different place for a long time, then he or she becomes different. But if somebody has been working with you very closely, then such a person is not a good referee, because again, a conflict of interest type of situation can take place. Now, one thing to keep in mind is once you have given your set of referees, you need to go back to your paper and see that if you have cited their work, because it seems a little odd if your referees are not mentioned in your reference list. It's not a requirement, but it's a bit odd, because if these are experts in their field or in your field, then your literature survey should have revealed these people. So again, that's a point where you can go back to your literature survey and make sure it gels with the referees you have selected in the list. Now, one of the things to do when writing a paper which can increase your chances of publication is to write in a manner such that you bring out the research in the field and you bring out the people who have contributed substantially to the field. So if somebody has written a very good review paper which you have used, then you can mention that Smith has written a seminal review on this topic. Or if somebody has done an experiment which is the bedrock of some of your research, then you can mention that a certain person has performed this experiment and that this has very greatly benefited your research. So generally, it's a good idea to be polite and positive in terms of your writing as far as the review of different people is concerned. So in case you see some limitation in the papers of people, you should also frame it in a diplomatic language. You can write that somebody's study was limited in scope because his sample size was less and his research was constrained because of the paucity of computational resources. So using language which is diplomatic is very useful in criticizing researchers as well as in praising researchers, so that you do not necessarily create a lot of ruckus in your research community by writing in a trenchant manner. Now, there are some journals which permit you to mention if there is somebody whom you do not want to be a referee. So I think this is possibly okay in case you know that there are some people or somebody who is philosophically disliking your research or has some severe problem with the way you are approaching a certain problem. But the problem with this approach is that you can suggest that the person should not be sent the paper, but in the end the journal has the discretion of whether they go with your view or not. So generally I have never used this practice, but there may be some situations where this kind of a situation may be useful. So again, these are some of the main points which I thought of today about how to give a set of referees who can be beneficial to you both in terms of possibly providing a good review for your paper or thesis, as well as providing comments which are useful to you in terms of making your document a better document. So again, I would say that selecting referees well is a great art and a very important component of science and scholarship. And if you select referees well and they feel motivated to read your paper or to read your thesis, then you will also find that you get results from papers in a much faster time scale than if you were to randomly select some people and send them as referees for your paper, in which case it may happen that the people are not interested in the field or they may have moved on from working in that field, and so they will be not very well disposed in terms of reading your paper. So again, these are some points I had today about selecting referees, and I'll see you in my next video soon. Stay tuned to my channel.